position-wise. It's not always easy to control both sides of the map down there. Down here, we do have a health keg, the only team deathmatch map we play with the health keg. It's a bit out of the way. You know, it's not easy to see from just around the map, right? Like, you can maybe see it from the top from a couple angles. I think from what I recall, Fantasy on All-Stars was typically assigned to that. I'm not sure who on SOW. Sometimes you'll put one player on it. Sometimes you'll have a couple people just sort of rotate through the area. But that can be huge. It's something that kind of gets neglected, but adding that, you're basically doubling your health. And on a fast-paced map like this, can be a little bit scrambly, a little bit hectic. Doubling your health like that can be huge. All right, looks like players are ready, and we are getting this final day of UTPL Season 3 off and running. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here. SOW versus All-Stars. Getting our final day of the season kicked off with the 4v4. Of course, we're on Nitro. Going to be a bit of a hectic one. Expect to see lots of scrambling, fighting for position early on. You see Reflex up top here. They're going to want him to have that sniper rifle. All-Stars, you can bet. Reflex with a shield belt and a damage amp running around just playing insta-get, picking people off would be their ideal scenario. Tamerlane, though, he knows his way around a sniper rifle as well. Takes down Reflex. A whole host of kills coming in. Most of All-Stars being wiped down there. So early moments here. Early lead for SOW. Of course, anything can happen in the long term. Relatively fast-paced map, so something where you can even see 10, 15-point leads evaporate very quickly. Let's head straight over to the shield belt room. You do see SOW in position for it. This is one of those rooms that's got a few entrances, but you can sort of zone people out once you take control. Sai's going to be on the run with this. We'll follow him. Looks like we got about 15 seconds until the amp and the health keg. Wouldn't be surprised if Psy is the one that they try to hand that, there we go, that amp to. We'll back up a little bit. Fantasy's up there with the rocket launcher, not much HP. Gonna try to push them off of it, but needs some help. Demon comes in there, has the extra HP that he needs to dive in there. Big fight coming out. Really just a bunch of trades back and forth, but in the end, Demon ends up with the amp. He gets ambushed from behind, though. Everybody in the map came over to fight over this amp. I think we saw 6, 7 deaths so far, and it looked like it dropped up there. I'm not sure if anyone, it may have fallen out of play. Oh, falls through a hole in the, well, there you go. Taken out of play. Neither team going to have that one, and now they have to adjust. They have to say, okay, one power up down. Let's head over to this belt. Looks like Reflex in position. Psy was over there trying to do some damage to him, and he actually did, so a pretty decent job of neutralizing it just a bit. Took about half of that belt down. So we'll give you a quick look at the scoreboard to see what we're seeing early on. Dead even, look at that. 80 damage difference so far. And of course, we're at this point in the playoffs where, I mean, any of these matchups is going to be close. Wouldn't be surprised to see. We saw some overtime matches yesterday. Wouldn't be surprised to see that again today. All comes down to the matchups. We're following Reflex up top. We know he wants to get control of this. Ooh, that sniper rifle area. Again, it gives you such great access to the rest of the map. You check an amp. It's not up for another 5 seconds. That tells me that All-Stars actually doesn't have timing of amp, which is a little bit interesting. They basically defaulted. I'm guessing he went with the default timing. Basically said, okay, if they had picked up amp the exact time it spawned, here's when it would be. But of course, it was delayed a little bit. You can see it's about 11 seconds behind the keg. There was such a huge fight over it last time. It desynced it just a bit. That does mean that you can send someone, oh, close range sniper actually connects, but not enough HP to survive. Ubik Rubik's got it in his hands. He's going to retaliate. He'll be pushing across the map over to that 100 armor vest area. Looks like Demon right in his face at the shock rifle. And nice job by Special, backing up his teammate. Dual Enforcers can be very scary on these close range maps. You can put out a ton of damage. You can see just like that, Nubik mowing down Demon. They're not great at range, but you get to that short, medium distance, it can be deadly. So 100 armor back up in about 15 seconds. We'll stick around to this area for now. See who's going to hang out over there. Looks like it's Fantasy versus Special fighting over it. Fantasy goes down. Would actually be shocked if Allstars doesn't send a few people over here. They still have 5 seconds. Demon's kind of coming in. They may just have to concede it at this point. You have 3 SOW players. Fantasy looks like he's downrange. Looks like the keg is coming up soon. And Special looks like he's timing it. So right now, power-ups firmly in the hands of SOW. The question is, how long will that last? Again, you can, because of the offset, you could send someone to keg and then have them pick up amp, and there's a nice kill by Nubik Rubik on Fusion. And another pickup this time going to SOW. Right now, up by 10. They are controlling all of the power-ups in this map. But only a 10 frag lead can disappear very quickly on something like a Nitro. We'll go on board with Fusion, who picks up Sniper and Damage Amp. That'll be an instant kill for most people if he can tag them. You got side down low underneath him, trying to play keep away. Ooh, 2 quick kills. Nice job by Fusion of keeping his sort of aim off of his camera, right? Like keeping track of two players, 2 targets at once. So important, especially in a, like I say, kind of a dogfight map like this. Rampage, meanwhile, for Special. You know, I hate to give him the Caster's Curse, but we're going to have to go on board with him. Still pretty even as far as damage between the two, but we've seen SOW much better control of those power-ups, at least off the spawns. Oh, but close range. Nubik Rubik back-to-back kills after Fantasy gets the kill with the flat. Multiple flat kills going on right there. We do have the 100 armor spawning soon. Keg as well. Special 1, remember, grabbed that last keg. He may be the only one with timing of it. So Nubik grabs 100. Looks like Keg got grabbed by Special 1 again. So things really going SOW's way as far as power-up control. You can see Allstars trying to get in position for this amp. We're getting close to the halfway point, and they know they don't want to fall behind by upwards of 15 to 20. Reflex on a killing spree of his own. Fusion's here desperately fighting over this amp, but he is out of health and out of time. And Nubik Rubik's going to have this amp. See, the problem with that is when you're fighting over amp on this map, you're still going to have to jump out and kind of make yourself vulnerable to actually use it. So even if you get amp with 15, 20 health, you're just going to die, drop it right back to the other team. So sometimes you're better off backing up to your teammates and just ambushing. We'll see if that comes into play in the future. Nubik Rubik here just protecting himself. Some defensive link finally goes down. Tamerlane picks it up top. Not much time left, but damage already done. Just sort of inching their way. SOW just every couple minutes putting +1, +2 frags on the board. Up to a 14 frag lead. We do have a shield belt spawning in 10 seconds. We'll probably head over there. Get an idea. The fights over this room can be pretty dramatic. You see Reflex up top with rockets. That'll be great for throwing down at those choke points. There's basically 4 entrances to this map, but you can still hold people off of them pretty well if you know they're coming. And looks like no challenge from SOW. So keep that in mind. Just about the halfway point of this match. And we've got SOW perhaps losing track of the timing on that shield belt, despite challenging it pretty well. 10 seconds till that amp spawns. We'll see if Allstars hangs out over there. 100 armor still in Special's hands. Special's been picking up just a ton of pickups. It's not going to show you the timing or the total number of keg pickups, but we know he's got at least a couple. And SOW sweeping through, just pushing Allstars off of that top perch area. I think what you're seeing from Allstars is just a lack of weapons. They haven't been able to reestablish themselves. SOW has kept them on their heels. Reflex kind of accidentally finds an amp, and that's another power-up that SOW potentially could have controlled, but seems to have lost timing of. I don't know if that's what's happening, but we'll keep an eye on that. Reflex there actually getting a kill and pretty good damage given all he had was Enforcers. However, Tamerlane with dual Enforcers and now double damage and shield belt. This could actually be surprisingly effective if he pushed into that 100 armor area, but instead he's just going to pop around the corner, take out Reflex, back up to a 20 frag lead. And looking good in the opening moments here for SOW. say opening moments, opening map. Still a lot left to play between these two teams, even in this map, but you're over 20 frags at this point, past the halfway point. This is exactly where anyone would like to be. And if you're All-Stars, you have to wonder, okay, what are they thinking about doing? What are they changing up? You can see that 12 to 400 armor difference. That's sometimes been an issue for certain teams. Sometimes they'll dedicate themselves to the big power-ups, the shield belts, the amps, and giving up way too many vests. You want to at least split vests. If you're going to concede it, you want to at least challenge it, you know, half the time. We've seen that in a couple matchups in the past. You even have situations where a team will do more damage overall and still end up losing because they just don't have the armor. And another amp this time going to All-Stars unchallenged. Yeah, they're down 19, but if they can keep control of that amp, this could actually turn around very quickly. Killing spree for Fusion, a chance for more. And this could be a turning point of the match right here. If All-Stars ends up coming back, we're going to look towards the middle of this map and say, okay, power-up control by SOW was firmly in their side, and then they just sort of lost it. We'll see what they can do in the last 5 minutes as they actually answer back, take out that amp with dual enforcers, but not before Fusion goes on a killing spree with it, pulls them back within 16, so about a quarter of that lead dissipated in an instant there. Still plenty of time for All-Stars. SOW now. Gonna need to regroup. You have shield belt up and another grab. Again, SOW late to the party. They may have timing on it though. You saw Special One grab that keg, so he still has keg. I think that's probably the 4th or 5th keg Special One is grabbed. It's not gonna show up on the scoreboard, but that extra healing you can see, pretty indicative of that. You can see 7 to 3 belts now for All-Stars, and now back in front on total amp time, and more importantly, they may have sole timing of that amp, and that could be critical. If they can get the next 2 or 3 amps unchallenged, that could be their ticket to getting back into this game. You got 10 seconds up here. Psy's trying to challenge it, but I don't think he quite knows the timing because they weren't anywhere near it when it got picked up last time. And if you see Reflex or Fusion here, going an untouched amp run, and there it is again, a free amp grab. 2 quick kills. Reflex turning it on right now, down to a 12 frag lead. This is exactly what they needed to do to try to come back into this one. He's got Stinger, might pull out. Oh, pulls out the rockets, but misses Tamerlane again, out sniping Reflex. I mean, that's a 1-to-1 matchup of hit scan heroes that's just going to be really entertaining to watch all match long. Neither player really afraid of each other, both of them respecting each other, but you can see Tamerlane getting the most of them a couple of times. They're back up to a 13 frag lead, but remember, it was over 20 just a couple minutes ago. And again, though, keep in mind, SOW didn't hear that amp grab. They kind of seem to sort of have an idea of the timing of it. Oh, it's Tamerlane. What is he shooting right now? 53% accuracy with 45 shots fired. That is extremely impressive. Tamerlane right here. Just playing that human turret position, the kind of thing, I mean, from my experience, I used to see someone like Gitz play back in the 2K4 days. Just be like, hand that man a sniper rifle and let him just stand in the middle of the map and basically just cheat. I mean, I don't think, have we seen him miss a shot? I feel like he's just on fire right now. And now it's back up to a 20 frag lead, and that may do it. Power-ups be damned. You can see Tamerlane just sitting there. He has no idea when this amp is spawning, and it just doesn't matter because he's not missing anything. And just like that, with a 20 frag lead and amp in their hands, SOW may have shut the door on All-Stars in this opening map. They do have an amp run. They will have the opportunity to touch it maybe one more time. But still a 20 frag lead. We've seen crazier things happen, but SOW certainly well on their way. And I think they may have some concept of amp timing now. They clearly had no idea. I mean, he had Tamerlane sitting there. Luckily for him, he's shooting 2,000% accuracy because he was just hanging around that amp and just shooting shot after shot and not missing. Special One, you can see he's shooting 64%, only 14 shots, but we know he can he has the potential to go off at any point with that sniper rifle. And I think this one's going to be out of reach at this point. SOW running away with it in the second half. Or really, I guess the final 5 minutes. You saw All-Stars mounting a comeback, completely just bamboozling SOW with the timing of the power-ups. That belt sniper amp area was completely under All-Stars control. It looked like they had a chance to come back. They pulled within, what, 12 to 13. And then SOW finally got back control just by out-shooting them. I mean, that's really all it was there. Nice combo there by Special. Coming on strong late. Actually taking the lead now. More damage than Tamerlane. One more kill. And SOW grabbing that last amp. That will definitely seal the deal. 4 players over 4,000 damage. 2 at almost 5,000. A really impressive showing here. This is a high damage, fast-paced map, as we kind of mentioned, but SOW, as Special goes above the 5K mark, massive game for him. We saw him, so again, look at that healing. You see him with 950s, 400 armors. He also probably grabbed about half a dozen kegs. Something that doesn't show up in the scoreboard at the moment, but keep that in mind. That's just so critical on this map. So there you go, SOW over All-Stars for map 1. I'm not sure, we might be switching over to the North American hub. So of course this was on the European hub, SOW's, I guess, home field, if you will. It would have been All-Stars map pick, and we will be flipping and reversing that for map 2. But in any case, only thing that matters, 1 point on the board for SOW. All right, looks like they're going to get that set up on the North American hub. Probably NYC. We'll see who joins. All right, yeah, looks like they're going to the NYC hub. And I'm popping open the maps document right now to get an idea of what we're looking at. Ooh, looks like Spacer. Okay, so Nitro. Yeah, Nitro would have been All-Stars pick. SOW picking Spacer, not a bad map pick. They will be playing in the North American hub, as you can see. Sid Castle probably would have been a decent pick as well. But yeah, so Deck and Defiance getting banned by each respective team. Nitro and Spacer are going to be our maps. And this is a map in Spacer that not a lot of the North American teams have a ton of experience on. It's not, to my knowledge, it's not any North American team's favorite map.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, here we go. We are on DM Spacer. If anyone thinks this map doesn't look familiar, it's because it's not familiar. It's a brand new map for UT4, and by new I mean it was created originally for the game. It's actually been around since the beginning of the beta. Or pre-alpha. But yeah, a map that's not going to be a port. It's going to be original for this game. Very interesting layout. It's very vertical. Pardon me while I alt-tab for a second. Yeah, very vertical layout. You're going to see... It's a map where you have to get to the power-ups even earlier than usual. Let's see if I can get you a view. So here we go while we're waiting for the last players to come in. You can see that shield belt. That shield belt is way down in the bottom of the map. It's something you kind of have to go out of your way to get to. Oops. Go back around here. So you can see it down here from the shock rifle, but you can see there's no direct path. You're gonna have to go up and over. You got the amp up top. You can drop down in the middle. There's a lot of ways to get into this room, but you have to get there. You probably have to split forward about 15 seconds before it spawns. A lot of maps you can start going, someone says, hey, belt's up in 10 seconds, belt's up in 7 seconds. You can then kind of make your move to it. On this map, you have to get here way ahead of time. We see teams sometimes putting 3 or 4 people into this room to get here way before the belt spawns, fight the other team off, almost like it's a capture the flag map. You'll kind of see some fights that look like that, with a couple of players back up by the power-up, a couple of enemy players kind of attacking. You'll see some big fights over that. Now, the key there is if you control the belt, you're also giving up a lot, right? Because you're having to be out of position from the rest of the map. So you look at things like, you know, rocket launcher spawn. You've got across the map that sniper rifle. Sniper rifle way up top. You've got a bunch of vials in this room. You got amp access right down there. So this is a really critical room to hold as well. But as you can imagine, you know, if you give up this room to go down there and grab belt, the other team may just snatch it right back from you. You might be coming back and facing 2 people with sniper rifles and, you know, 125 HP because of these vials. So a lot of strategic movement. This isn't a map where you're going to just sort of jump in and out-frag the other team. Lots of rotations, lots of position play. So I'm really curious to see that. And it's sort of in a straight line. So you'll notice this when we look at the mini-map. We'll actually see it in game. So you've got the, you know, sniper rifle, you got amp, right? You've got across the map, you got that shield belt down below, and right across the map, 100 armor vest right there. It's sort of, yeah, a big line of power-ups. It kind of reminds me of Compressed in the 2K3 and 4 days, but just much bigger. So everyone in the map looks like, go ahead and follow along with someone. Looks like we are ready to go here, y'all. All right, here we go. Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 jumping in. We got map number 2, SOW versus Allstars. Season 3 quarterfinal. We just saw SOW take map 1 on Nitro, and this could be a massive opportunity for them if they can somehow find a way to win here on map 2, giving themselves a 2-point lead. That means they would only need to take 1 more point out of the remaining 3 games in order to win and move on. Remember, this is first to 5 points. A nice hiding spot there. Is that Dion hiding in the background? In any case, we have a bunch of opening kills here for Allstars. We're going to go on board with Reflex, who's got a sniper rifle in his hands. And 15 seconds till this belt spawn. So this is what I was talking about. You see Reflex having to make that decision, basically. He's going to help with belt or keep controlling the map. He's going to drop down to belt. You see that vertical drop down. Going to head over here with Demon. And you can see 3 All-Star players trying to fight SOW off of this room, kind of zone them out with that spam, with those shots. 1 kill comes in. They answer back with another. And you see everyone basically fights over that belt and then kind of leaves the area and goes back to their spots. Just a big convergence. And then like a diaspora out of there. And you can see in the minimap in the top right, those icons are going to represent, you know, weapons and power-ups and such. Yellow will be armors. Purple will be... Well, actually, purple's going to be the shock rifle. But, yeah, you can see everything just in a line, right? So keep that in mind. Start trying to orient yourself if you're not familiar with this map. Oh, amp gets grabbed, gets dropped immediately. You're going to see that a lot. The damage amp is so vulnerable in this map, in that open ledge. Oftentimes, the person who grabs it doesn't last very long. 3 more kills by Allstars. Killing grabs the amp. He's got a bunch of damage falling down onto him. Dion's going to end up with it. Dual Enforcers with the double damage. That's going to be so dangerous, but Fusion able to take him out. Fusion now has the amp. How long will he last? Only 12 HP. Maybe enough to scare away SOW at least. So a little bit of damage there. Smart play there by Fusion, only having 12 HP. He's going to go for the kill now. Dion makes him pay, but there's a couple more kills off screen, and SOW, more importantly now, I believe grabbed that belt. Yeah, special one here, grab that shield belt, and yeah, if they can keep timing of it, we did see them towards the middle of the last map with a little bit of rough power-up control. Nice fadeaway there, special from downtown, making it rain flak right onto the face, and a double kill. Special had a monster game in map 1. If he can turn that into another game in map 2 of the same caliber, this could be a huge opportunity for SOW. However, 6 frag lead early on for Allstars. Again, this is their home turf, if you will, sort of their home server. You can see a little bit of a ping advantage. All right, Amp is popping. We do have Shield Belt coming up at the same time. This is an interesting time in the map. And it looks like a free grab of each. So SOW opted for the Amp. 3 players there. Got a free grab of it. Looks like a untouched... Ooh, Shield Belt for Fusion, who unfortunately jumps right into the Amp's path. And 2 in a row, Nubik Rubik neutralizes that power-up, pulls within 5, looking for more targets. Reflex sneaks up behind him. So now Reflex with the Amp, and a little bit of time to do some damage in the sniper rifle, too. This could be dangerous if you're SOW. So not much happening with the Amp for Allstars. They did manage to neutralize it fairly quickly, so basically a wash there between those 2 power-ups. Oh, nice sliding sniper there by Reflex. Low HP, but able to keep his focus, train that shot. We're going to head down to the Shield Belt. Actually, he's probably going to head down there for us. We'll get out in front of him. Again, you see Allstars way out in front of it. This is what you got to do if you want to control that power-up. Putting a lot of attention towards it. Fusion seems to be the one that's grabbing it. I'm not sure if that's a position thing or if they're going to try to get him stacked up for an Amp run. Sometimes if you have a player that's playing on an island by themselves, you'll give them the belt just so that they have that extra survivability. Also common to try to get it into the hands of whoever you're going to feed that damage amp to. So you see him with a sniper in his hand. Double damage pops in 2 seconds, 1 second. Fusion here ready to jump onto it. I imagine he's going to get a grab of it. Big kill in the middle of it, and this is an opportunity with pretty much everyone on Allstars just sweeping through that amp area. Reflex actually grabbed it. Go on board with him. You saw them just crossing the map looking for targets. And up to a 13 frag lead in this middle of the map. This is the portion where, oh, a Nitro. Nubik Rubik, though, got a little bit of pancake damage and a sniper kill. And now that amp in the hands of SOW. I was about to say this is a big point of the map where Allstars could try to pull away, but instead SOW steals that amp. Some big shots. I think Killing stole that shield belt from right under the noses of SOW. That's what having perfect timing will do for you. And he gets away with help from his teammate. Helps himself out with some flak shots. Big steal there by Killing. He goes down eventually, but basically not a bad trade there for Allstars. Stealing the power up, trading kills. Everything's a little bit messy right now. We've got some time to look at the scoreboard. Significantly more damage coming out for Allstars. 4-1 shield belt lead. 6-4 on the 100 armors. And Special One was red hot earlier on in this game. We saw him have a monster game on Nitro. Kind of falling back in, evening out a little bit for him. Allstars largely controlling the map at this point. We'll see. There's still plenty of time for SOW to turn that around. We're about the middle point of this match. And we'll see what happens. We got both power-ups spawning at the same time. Last time they split. Remember, last time, Amp went to SOW, goes back to them. Belt went to Allstars. Same split this time. Allstars all went to Shield Belt. Maybe figuring they could try to ambush the Amp. Remember, if you die with the damage amp here, you do drop it. So sometimes that's a strategy. You say, okay, well, we'll concede the amp, and if they come after us, we'll just try to take them out and take it back, and that's exactly what they do. Great distraction. Fusion with the flank all around the side there, but Special up top with the rockets. So now Demon's got some amp. Putting down some damage. No kills coming out, though. Fade away. Shots coming back and forth. Tamerlane with the headshot. Ooh, and a big flak there by Nubik. But at the end of the day, I mean, after all of this scrambling towards the last couple of minutes of this one, we're still at a 14 frag game. So pretty much where we've been. A little bit of signs of life here by SOW towards the middle, trying to get control of this belt. I think they've only grabbed 1 shield belt so far. That's their second. Nubik Rubik grabs it, takes a ton of damage, but does manage to get a kill. Tamerlane on a killing spree. And SOW now answering back, only down by 12. They pretty much cut the lead in half. Still kind of fighting back and forth for control. Wouldn't say they've asserted map control, but they have broken it from Allstars just a bit. Big fight over the sniper rifle area here. Of course, Reflex would love to have that in his hands. Both players from SOW extremely weak. Killing up top to try to help and get that amp, but all SOW was there. Special One grabs it. He goes down. Demon has it in his hands, and that amped Link gun going to be extremely deadly, even to his teammate. There's another kill coming in, and that 100 armor is so important. Increasing that survivability, allowing him to be more aggressive. Just looking for targets back up to a 16 frag lead. That was a nice sequence there for Allstars. Again, just trying to come away with a split in the 4v4 portion. So we got 5 total points in this matchup. There's 2 in 4v4. There'll be 2 4v4 TDM maps. I already played one, of course, this being the second. And then a best of 3 2v2 and 2 best of 3 duels. So lots left to play, but Allstars certainly doesn't want to fall down 2-0. So our power-ups are directly in sync. You're going to notice 33 seconds till the next amp and the next belt. The last couple times we've seen Allstars all go down to belt, give up that amp. SOW been able to grab those amps untouched, but haven't done a lot with them. They've done okay here and there, usually trading kills. They've been challenging the in-between belts, though, pretty effectively in the middle of this map, and that's what allowed them to cut into the lead a bit. That said, though, Allstars really making a run here. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard. We do have belt spawning right now. It looks like Allstars in control of that room again. Amp is up. Nubik Rubik ends up with it. A little bit of a delay there, but not enough to really make a huge difference. And the fadeaway sniper there. Big shot to take him out, but he's going to be facing down 2 Allstars players on the run. Ooh, big shot, but Fusion grabs that 100 armor right before it, allowing him to survive. I think he might have had 5 HP there. So here we go, last 5 minutes. We'll take a quick look at the scoreboard. Up to a... Oh, look at that. Everyone, if you look at the kill feed in the top left there, everyone on SOW went down, a full team wipe. That's going to be very tough to come back from with 5 minutes to go and you're down by 20. To make that 28, 27. And all of your team is having to reset from scratch. See Demon having a big damage game. Reflex with a huge efficiency game here. Not bad damage output overall by SOW. But you look at the 12 to 700 armor vests, 8 to 2 shield belts, and again, the concession of the amp by Allstars, kind of surprising to me, but paying off. I figured if any team would want to put 1 or 2 people up by that sniper rifle amp area and just control it at all costs, I figured it would be Allstars, but it looks like that's not going to be in their game plan, and they're kind of more rolling together. Seems to be a smart play. I mean, you can see Reflex there obviously is rotating through that area. So Reflex has those jump boots for the ambush in the middle of the map. He found 3 SOW players, able to escape. Does get a kill. But he's going to look to heal up. And 3 seconds till the shield belt spawn. It's going to be a little bit out of position here, so we'll head over there. Allstars all over it, but they lose track of it. Allstars was pushing in. Tamerlane, though, ahead of time. And Tamerlane manages to sneak in and grab another belt. I think they actually got there a little bit ahead of time. Allstars looked like they had time, but maybe just a couple seconds late to push the attack. You saw Special on the left side there had upwards of 150 HP. That's what happens when someone's hanging out. You see that sniper rifle up top there. There's a couple of 5 packs, 5 or 6 packs, I forget, of health vials. So important. If you can get up there, get that sniper rifle, scoop up all of that health, it can really be a big boon. So getting towards the end of this one, time going to be running out soon on SOW when you look at trying to come back. Critical map for Allstars, though. You can't lose both of the 4v4s. Splitting is, I don't know if you call anything an upset at this point in the tournament, I suppose, in the playoffs, but certainly means we're going to at least see 1 duel, potentially 2 duels in this matchup to determine the winner. And that will be very, very intriguing. Both teams have some really serious duel players. I mean, again, we're getting to the playoffs. We're getting to the point where there's just fewer and fewer weaknesses on any of these teams. So you're going to see some marquee matchups, if I might steal a non-esports trope there. Saw that amp run. Really not a lot happening there. I mean, honestly, like I say, time's kind of running out. Tamerlane would have needed to go absolutely bonkers on that amp run to kind of make this mathematically feasible for them. They're down by 22 at this point. Going to be close to the point of the mathematical impossibility. This is a relatively large map compared to something like Nitro. And a smaller map, obviously, you can churn out kills a lot quicker. Still a pretty close match, all things considered, though. So stick with Tamer, who continues to be really shooting very well. Almost 40% accuracy this game. Of course, when you're losing, you're usually taking a lot more shots where you're scrambling, fading away, trying to dodge the bullet hell that is 3 players shooting Link and Stinger at you. Amp up, special one. So another amp for SOW. Very interesting to see the lack of attention to it by Allstars on this map, seemingly intentionally. Like, I don't think they've necessarily lost track of it. I think they've just said, you know what, fine, you can grab 7 of those amps. We're going to grab twice as many belts, almost twice as many 100 armor vests, basically stack up an armor and just ambush you. And that's another thing, though, on these bigger maps. Like I said, relatively large, relatively complex. It's the kind of map where if you can keep track of the amp runner, sometimes you can just avoid them and just let it time out. A perfectly valid strategy, especially on these bigger maps. So in the end, working out for Allstars. Looks like they're going to hang on here. 18-point lead less than a minute to go. So getting things kicked off right. 1 map apiece, 1 point apiece. So it's all going to come down then. 2v2. I mean, it'll ultimately be decided by duel. 2v2 best of 3 coming up next. That will be another point in this matchup. One of them will have a 1-point lead going into the last 2 duels, and then either team can really take it from there. All right, good games coming out. You can see the final statistics there. Pretty straightforward. Really the most interesting thing. Pretty big game there for Reflex. 5 bomb there by Demon, dropping some pain. But really the key there was the strategy. And we talked about that being a big game, or a big map. All about positioning, all about rotations. Allstars was on every single shield belt. I don't think they let, I think, what was it, 2 belts there that went to SOW. And I don't think a single one was uncontested. Sorry, 7 belts. Oh, no, that's it. 9 to 5. Okay, so they gave up 5 belts. We saw those belts, though. There were belts where SOW was, like, fighting over it, backing into it in the middle of the fight. Allstars is on top of things. That's maybe as disciplined as far as, like, having a game plan, sticking to it despite being challenged, as I've seen Allstars play. They've got superior fragging ability. I mean, obviously, every team in the playoffs here, our Final Four, can all shoot, but yeah, that was a definite, very definitive game plan by Allstars that they very, very specifically stuck to. So while we wait for that 2v2 to get going, we're going to take another peek just here at the bracket, just to give you something to look at in the meantime and pontificate. So you can see the brackets there. Of course, we're kicking it off with Allstars versus SOW. Number 1 and number 3 finishers. Sorry. The caffeine is yet to kick in. So number 2 and number 3 finishers on our season in the regular season. 1 versus 4 is actually going to be the lower bracket. So you can see we ended up with chalk. So the regular season, the seedings coming in from that are what we ended up with in these semifinals. Of course, we will have the 3rd place match. Again, top 4 teams here earning money, so there is still something on the line. Our 3rd place match, both teams will get paid, but I believe it's a 4-3-2-1 split, so that means double the money for the third place team versus the fourth place team. So still a lot to play for there. And of course, our grand final coming up. Following that, it will be a long day of video games, but we got 4 matches in. We are getting started. Not sure where they're going to start this one off, so I got an eye on the hubs. Probably London and New York City are going to be the 2. Looks like we got a match up on London, so we'll jump right on in there for you. All right, so 4v4 maps were split 1 point apiece there. That means it all comes down to 2v2 and duel. And players are ready, so we're going to get this one kicked right on into overdrive. Basically, next 2 points wins. First one on the board here, 2v2. Here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1. Man, it's game time, baby. Connex 5, first 2v2 of the day. Remember, these two split 4v4 points. So whoever can get the upper hand in this best of 3 2v2 going to give them that extra point moving into the duel round. Or duel rounds, perhaps. Ranking going to be a map everyone's familiar with. Rookie coming in. So Rookie and Demon. I'm not a super expert in who's been playing 2v2 for which teams, but I don't know that I've seen this combination before from Allstars. Oh, but a big start early on. I mean, of course, lots of UT2K4 players who really cut their teeth there for All-Stars. It's going to be a map that anyone from that realm is going to be super familiar with. Of course, the UT2K4 demo map, in fact. And the air rocket by Special answers back. Special not going away. We've seen him go absolutely bonkers on Rankin before. I think if you go back, I think it was Season 2, where we saw him just with a crazy comeback with an amp run on this map. So we know what he's capable of. Rookie and Demon here trying to give themselves the 1 map advantage. Of course, this 2v2, like I said, will be best of 3, and that will be 1 point. In the 4v4, each map was worth 1 point. Here you got to win 2 to get that. Opening with Rankin, and you see Rookie. I mean, this is a good sort of solid medium range map for people who really like the the shock rifle in particular. This can be a very shock heavy map. Pretty clean grab there of the amp. Has Tamerlane behind him. What can he do? Oh, he gets away from one, but can't get away from both players. And Tamerlane with a double kill. Special now with the amp in his hands. And these are 2 players in Tamerlane and Special. 2 of the better hit scam players that we've seen this season. So, again, I talk about Rookie and Demon being familiar and comfortable in this map. But Tamerlane and Special are some of the, at times, hottest snipers that we've seen. I mean, we saw earlier in the first map, right? Tamerlane shot, what, 50, 60% sniper? Either player there perfectly capable of doing that on any given map. Special does grab that shield belt. We saw him in that first map on Nitro all over that keg, so we know that his timing is on point this morning. If he can get timing of that and help control it. Rankin, though, is a map, though, where, relative position and crossfire is important. Sometimes you can really just out-frag people. Just straight up go toe-to-toe, force a fight, and whoever hits more shots wins. And we'll see who can make the most of that. Demon gonna come in, get him with that flak from behind. We do have Belt and Amp spawning a few seconds apart. Be curious to see if people both go for Amp first, or if they split between Amp. Oh, the double kill with the Enforcers. Nice teamwork there, good communication, knowing that they had someone weak. 100 armor got taken. Amp is actually up in 5 seconds. We'll see who goes for that. Looks like everyone's going to head over to Amp. Big fight right now. One goes down. Rookie over there with that link gun. Nice assortment of weapons, and that's going to allow him to push Special away. Get another kill. Amp in their control. They're going to try to... Oh, it's a foot race to the 100 armor. Tamerlane ambushes him with the flak and grabs the belt. Huge play there by Tamerlane. Gets the kill and both power-ups. And that is a danger when you decide to be aggressive with that Amp. Both of them ending up in SOW's hands, and this could be a big turnaround if you can get another shot or 2 off, cut into that lead. So Flat coming back and forth, back to a 6 frag lead. Big opportunity, and there it is. Tamerlane with another kill, pulling within 5, but they take him down. So neither team really in control right now. You got about 15 seconds left on that belt. No other major power-up spawning before then. So it's going to be a fight over positioning, things like that shock rifle. Tamerlane eating some stinger down to 14 HP, but he's going to be able to head down to that belt. He goes down. Nice kill by Rookie with the Enforcer. Again, whenever you see an Enforcer kill like that, it's usually just due to good communication. Players telling their teammate, hey, this guy's super weak. Just tag him with the Enforcer. You'll get a kill. Still a 5 frag lead. It's stayed very, very steady. The last 2 or 3 minutes have just been dead even between these two teams. We do have Amp spawning soon. We'll head over to it. Who will get their hands on it? Looks like Tamerlane dives in there, and 2 quick kills, only down to a 3 frag lead. And SOW with complete power of control. Oh, and Tamerlane kills Special, feeds his teammate a rocket. I think he just sort of threw that one out semi-blindly, and that is the danger. We are playing with friendly fire. So make that a 4 frag lead, and now taking a ton of damage. Nice job by Special of kind of regrouping, though, and grabbing that sniper rifle, getting the kill. Down to 3. Demon, makes him pay for coming down low. Big punish there, and he goes down. Big play by Allstars to neutralize Tamerlane. They have a shot at this shield belt. Rookie heading out over that. He goes down. He may have actually taken it, but couldn't tell if he grabbed it or Special, but he goes down. And we are just trading back and forth. Very tense here in the opening 5 minutes of this matchup. Oh, that link. That link puts a lot of pressure on you up close. Even if you've got the rocket launcher out, you have to hit those shots. Try to push them away. Kind of old school, man. I remember when I first started in UT 99, the first one, I didn't know what to do when people got that pulse on me. Then as soon as I realized flak balls and rockets would push them away, it was a big day to level up. Oh, 2 quick shots there by Demon. Did he hit a third there? I don't know. He dove into that stinger and went down. Maybe had an opportunity to back off and hit a fadeaway shot. Amp is up. Neither team is on top of it. I'm not sure if they lost timing. We do have belt up, but SOW with a free grab of the Amp. This kind of looked like last map. And if Allstars can't get timing of this Amp, keep that in mind. I don't know. Maybe they had timing. Maybe they just opted to go for the belt instead. We certainly saw them do that on Spacer and 4v4, but right around that 8.5 minute mark, an untouched Amp by SOW. If that's a sign of things to come, you could see a comeback stage on the back of that power-up. Rockets coming out, so Demon, we've seen a lot of great use of finisher weapons. So this map has been very even since the opening moments. As soon as really SOW came back, it's been within 5 the whole time. Lots of scrambling back and forth. Nobody really getting super stacked. That means that when you get access to a stinger, to a link gun, one of those finisher weapons, you don't have to be afraid to use them, right? There's that temptation of like, okay, well, I got to do spike damage. I got to initiate first. Ooh, Snipe comes down. Demon, though, gets away with a full shield belt. If he can get some health under him, and perhaps they can get back over and challenge this Amp this time. That double damage on top of a shield belt would be so dangerous. Oh, but eating's just kills. I mean, damage coming in from all over the place, and Tamerlane can actually get a kill with 1 shot. Demon was completely stacked and just got distracted there and was getting hit from both directions. Rockets coming out on Tamerlane. Nice use of those rockets up close with the juggle. May give up the Amp, but he has a chance to fight him back off it. Rookie ends up with it. So a bit of a misplay by Demon there, taking all that damage, and then comes back from it and does with some nice rocket juggling. Clears the path, and Rookie able to scoop up that double damage sniper rifle now. Ooh, gonna be very dangerous, but he has to get some health back on him. He doesn't want to give this power back up. Nice job doubling back. 2 quick kills there, and Allstars answers back in the lead now by 5. This is their biggest lead in a while now. Remember, they were up big early on. SOW came storming back. I don't think SOW took the lead at any point, but we were in a 2 to 5 frag game for about 3 minutes straight there. It was just dead even, back and forth, trades happening. We're back within 5. Nice fadeaway rocket there by Rookie. Ooh, and almost another one. But you saw that 100 armor going to special. We'll actually take a quick look at the scoreboard. So belts being owned by SOW. And look at that amp time, although some of that amp time was empty, keep that in mind, but twice as many 100 armors, so basically trading armors there. 10 to, well, I guess 11 to 5 now for All-Stars, 6 to 2 belts. That's a fairly even trade there. If you're gonna give up the shield belt, you have to at least pull half of those vests if you want to have any chance. They're doing just that. And a lot of times on this map in particular, if you're controlling that 100 armor vest, it's going to suggest that you're going to have control of the top area of the map, and that's where that sniper rifle is going to be. That's going to give you access to the amp and to some of the other weapons, that high ground. Tamerlane with an untouched amp again, so it's a couple amp grabs now that SOW has managed to get without having to put up too much of a fight. All-Stars, I don't know if they're losing track of these amps or if they're just, you know, opting not to challenge them. But now down to a 3-frag lead with amp sniper rifle in their hands, a dangerous situation. Now can All-Stars pick up this amp and turn it around? This could be a big move for them. Oh, the amp's headshot by Rookie, just unnecessary. And another shot coming out. That's a big, big shot on Tamerlane. He can finish him off with Enforcer if he wants. Got 2 Enforcers chasing him down. He's going to get 1 kill, pick up some health. Smart play by Rookie. Still has to be cognizant of that damage. Nice job backing up. This is a player who's very familiar with the map. You saw how much health he picked up almost incidentally. I mean, there was no accident there, but just rotating through all of the health pickups instinctively as someone who just knows the map that well. Tamerlane extremely weak. I'm surprised they didn't try to finish him off with Enforcer, but you see them backing up into the belt. So this time, All-Stars grabs belt. SOW grabs 100. We've seen the opposite trade so far, but it's going to be a win for All-Stars as far as this pickup if they can keep timing of that 100. Will definitely go a long way towards helping them stay in the lead here. 10 seconds till this amp spawns. We're going to see who gets in position for it. See the fight over the sniper rifle area. It's shock down low. Rookie's going to go after the chase. He's on a killing spree, gets the kill. He still has 150 armor. If he can get over to this amp, this could be their opportunity to put it away. They don't seem to have timing of it again. Rookie playing his opponent, but the power-up's just sitting here. SOW doesn't look like they have timing either. 10 seconds, this amp is just languish in its loneliness. You can see it dripping tears of purple power-upness. And finally, Rookie drops down, picks it up, still has 130 over 70, and he's going to be very, very dangerous right here. If there's a fight over shield belt, this could be a mistake by SOW. Gets 1 kill. Gets another kill. Look for a third here. And he gets that belt again, and so this is an opportunity here to just really be aggressive. No sense in being careful here. They've got a 9-frag lead, biggest lead of the game, I believe. Oh, and there's the Rampage. Still untouched, has taken 0 damage since grabbing that belt. And this is an opportunity for Rookie to really establish himself in this game. Oh, up by 10. First double-digit lead that I think we've seen in the game, certainly since the opening moments. The last 10 to 12 minutes have just been back and forth. And another headshot. Rookie turning things up now in the closing moments. We've got 3 minutes to go. And All-Stars now is controlling everything in this map. Demon actually outputting more damage than Rookie, but look at that KDR. Rookie having a crazy efficient game. You can see 12 kills in a row in the top right there, a 12 frag spree. Really on the backs of the power-up control. I mean, that was something SOW had kind of taken control of around the middle of this map. And All-Stars, to their credit, flipped it right back around. Running belt, running 100 armor, and in the last couple amps, oh, but he does go down. And this amp is going to be critical. There's only a couple left in this game. Special, we know what he can do when he gets an amp in his hands. Takes out Demon and then eats a rocket by Rookie, who stays aggressive, gets the double kill, and that was a huge play by Rookie. He doesn't really have to be extra aggressive here. He can be careful. At this point, they can just run out the clock, let that amp dissipate. You have no power-up spawning anytime soon, so I think Rookie will be happy just to take the fights that he wants and basically erase 1 power-up off the board. So you're going to have basically 1 more amp run. And that will probably be SOW's best opportunity. I mean, Special and Tamerlane, again, high-level fraggers. We know what they can do, especially if they get, like that sniper rifle in their hands. If I were them, I would focus on getting some health and some armor and a sniper rifle. You have 55 seconds till the belt spawns, but 37 till the amp. So sniper rifle and amp is going to be the combination that gives them an opportunity to come back into this game. If they can get 100 armor and a sniper and an amp, that's really their only shot here, I think. All right, so 10 seconds to this amp spawns. You saw Rookie grabbing that 100 armor. That's going to be a big grab. A lot of these little, you know, the 50s, the 100 armors, they add up. And if nothing else, you're denying them from your opponent. Ooh, and Rookie now stealing it with the 100 armor, and I think that's probably gonna do it. So first map we're gonna see go to All-Stars. You know, it started off all All-Stars, jumped out to a big lead. It's gonna end all All-Stars. The final score of this one's gonna make it look like All-Stars won comfortably. But I'm telling you, there was a middle 10 to 12 minutes of this match that was just dead even, back and forth, super tense, less than 5 frag lead for most of this game. So credit SOW for hanging in there, and then credit All-Stars for not panicking. There's a lot of you know, less experienced teams that if a team was able to hang in there that long would kind of start to panic, start to freak out a little bit, try to overextend themselves, try to finish off players that they maybe shouldn't, and end up feeding and swing that momentum pendulum. All-Stars playing very calmly and really under control today so far, but as it is, it's only map 1. So 2v2 map 1 going to All-Stars. Remember, it's best of 3 for this point. So SOW with a chance to answer back in map 2. I do believe we'll be switching hubs though, so yep. This was, of course, All-Stars map pick on SOW's server choice, more or less. So we'll be heading to NYC for map 2. All right, while we're waiting for this to pop up, shouldn't be long, but we have some pretty graphics to show you, so I'll let you take a peek at the playoff brackets while we're waiting for this to pop up. It looks like Solo is going to be map 2.
Hail to the king, baby.
Hey, we are already up to 87 viewers here. Appreciate that. I know we got some folks in North America had to wake up a little bit early to join us. And some of y'all from across the pond are going to be staying up pretty late to hang out with us. We'll try to keep things rolling quickly. Remember that grand finals will be best of 7, so an extended grand final. We'll see who gets their way into that. Right now, of course, we've got All-Stars versus SOW. They split 4v4 maps, so 1 point apiece. Advantage All-Stars in the 2v2. They took the first map, 1 map away from taking the lead at 2-1 in this series. Ultimately, will come down to the dual matchups, though. So sticking with the same lineups, Tamer Lane. Actually, no, we're switching to Nubik Rubik, replacing Special 1. Interesting. And then Demon and Rookie sticking together for map 2. We'll see what happens. A very, I don't know, small but complex map here in Solo. Both teams already looks like we're going to be kicking this one off any second now. All right, players are ready. Here comes your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5. We're here with map 2 between these two in the 2v2 portion. And to start things off, we've already got a 1-0 lead. Oh, I thought we were going to see a 2-0 lead. I'm just going to lean on the 2 key the whole time. There we go. Touche. There we go. 2-0. Rookie and Demon up early. We just saw them hanging on ranking. I mean, they ended up winning by double digits. That was a dead even game for about 12 to 13 minutes, just back and forth. Remember, the winner of this 2v2 portion will get an extra point on the board and the advantage going into the duels. So Rookie and Demon wanted to take this map. Of course, this is going to be on their home server, but it will be SOW's map pick. And maps like this are interesting when it's a dual map that you're taking into. Ooh, both players for All-Stars. Hyper weak. Rookie takes it. That belt to give him a little more survivability. Missing the dodge ramp there, but it's probably fine. He's going to head over and get some health to back up that armor. And he's going to be very dangerous here in the opening moments. He was able to get a free grab of that belt very clean, despite having low health. Now he can be extra aggressive if he wants to be. This map is so ambush heavy, though. You really have to be careful when you're trying to chase people down. Oh, Amp goes to Rookie, but he takes a ton of damage. He goes down. Nubik Rubik with the rockets. This is going to be a map where someone like Nubik Rubik, who likes to ambush you with those rockets, with flak and stuff like that, can really make use of it. It's a very complex map. Lots of interesting movement options. Ooh, you can get trapped in the corners like that. You see the answer right back from Rookie. And another kill by Rookie with the Amp. And a chance to try to take the lead again if he can find another target. Oh, trying to chase Tamerlane up. Maybe trying to get a little too sneaky there. Should have taken the shot off the wall. Tamerlane answers with the shock and takes him out. And now SOW back in the lead. Again, I was saying, though, this is an interesting map because it's a dual map. So lots of these players in this matchup are going to be familiar with it from 1v1 matches. It's obviously going to play completely different 2v2. You've also literally got an extra area. I mean, that Amp area, those doors are normally closed in duel. So not only is the architecture different, but just this setting up, right? If you know a power-up's coming up and you got two people to watch out for, you're going to set up completely differently if there's only one. What you do after getting a kill, what you do off the spawn, all of that is completely different in 2v2. So sometimes players that play this a lot in duel, they kind of have to retrain themselves. You could say the same thing, though, about some of the other maps. I mean, maps like Deck, even Rankin to some extent. Maps that players duel on that also play TDM. Just have to train yourself completely differently. So Amp up now, Rookie all over it. Belt goes to SOW, so SOW controlling the armor right now. Amp in the hands of All-Stars. I wonder if that's a relative score decision. In other words, they're saying if they're in the lead, we're going to take Amp. If we're in the lead, we're going to take armors. Don't know if that's the case, just speculation. Definitely heavily looking for that Amp. Oh, there's the big shot he wanted. Tamerlane eating 130 damage from that double damage sniper. And another one. Rookie ties it up, looking to take the lead with one shot. Oh, he had a player cross his line of sight, but just couldn't quite time it. So here's where we are so far. Tie game, as you probably expected. Less than 100 difference in total damage between the two. Significantly more amp time for All-Stars. None of that time has really gone towards a ton of points, though. It's been pretty back and forth with the amps. A few more armors for All-Stars, and those 100 armor vests, if they keep stacking those up, those are going to add up. And if they can add some shield belts on top of that, which is what they just did. Oh, this is going to be a big opportunity now. Over 100 armor for both players on All-Stars. They can be extra aggressive here. They can look for fights. Demon's going to get another kill, pushing it up to a 4-frag lead, looking for the ambush. Nobody going to spawn there, but they're going to take away that sniper rifle. 5 seconds till the amp spawns, and I'm actually kind of curious to see. Looks like they're in position here. Yeah, SOW gonna challenge that amp. Kind of surprised. They get 3 rockets and the amp, though. Nubik Rubik, again, rocket ambush. Something he wants to do is just catch people around corners, catch people chasing. Catches them there, not even looking at them. And Rookie's going to end up with his amp again, but not before. A bit of disruption there by SOW. And this is looking a lot like Rankin, just back and forth now towards the middle of this game. Only a 5-frag lead. It went back and forth between anywhere from 2 to 5 frags on Rankin before All-Stars was finally able to pull away in the last couple minutes. Close range sniper, and you can see why this map is really interesting and can favor some of that mid-range combat. You saw that spot right there. The close range sniper going to be very difficult to hit. Someone like Rookie, he can make it work, but yeah, you can imagine flak and rockets. If you can catch people being predictable on this map, you can just annihilate them. The key there, no chance for retaliation. You can be completely out of their line of sight by the time those projectiles hit. Tamerlane answers back against Rookie. Nice job fighting off that Lincoln. More rockets towards Rookie. We'll go on board with, well, everyone's weak. We'll go on board with Demon since he just picked up that 100. We do have 5 seconds till belt, 7 seconds till amp. Last time All-Stars was behind, they went for that amp. They gave up the belt. This time they're going for the amp again, so maybe they're just favoring the aggressive power-up. In the smaller map, 2 quick kills there by Rookie. Nice call-outs by his teammate. Oh, another shot right there. One more. We'll get him a kill, and 4 shots in a row by Rookie. Do the math on that. It's 130 damage a shot. And this is going to be the biggest lead of the game so far for All-Stars. Tamerlane will have a couple of shots to take with that amp, down to 35 HP, but he manages to take one frag back. Damage has been done, though, up to now an 11 frag lead, and that was a big amp run, big moment in the map. When it's only 2v2 and you manage to land 4 double damage sniper shots, I mean, that's just going to be devastating. So SOW having to regroup. You can see Enforcers, Pistons out on their side. No real weapons in their hands. You'd have 10 seconds till the belt spawns. Will SOW be able to challenge that, or will they have to? They may have to go back and just pick up weapons at this point. UTProLeague sitting on it, trying to take him out. Oh, and Demon dives in there. Brave move with 16 HP. Manages to snag that shield belt, though, and stay alive. And he'll get back up to 100 health here, or maybe 91. Did he miss one of those health bubbles? I guess it doesn't really matter here, but pretty sure I mathed correctly. But anyway, Demon still with 110 armor and another amp on their side, and that's going to be complete domination of the amp now. SOW, if they want any chance of coming back into this one, they're going to have to snag that amp. Again, for those of you joining us, this is Sons of War versus All-Stars at the halfway point. And right now, All-Stars making moves, trying to take their second point in this matchup. They split 4v4s. So 1 point per team. Oh, another nice shot. And another amp run by All-Stars, really separating themselves. And Demon now on a rampage. Big game from him. Just playing duck hunt, running around the map, finding targets. And you see that, 118 seconds of double damage compared to 27. That amp is just so huge. You can see SOW contesting the armor power-ups reasonably well, but 1,300 damage difference. That's going to be a combination of out-fragging, but of course that damage amp going to be such a big boon there. So All-Stars really turning it on towards the middle of this map. A couple of amp runs and the control that comes on top of it. I mean, that's the thing, right? It's not just grabbing that amp. When you grab an amp, you get 2 or 3 kills. You're just putting the other team back on their heels. They're all having to reset from square one. No armor, no weapons. And that's going to basically buy you some control of the other pickups for a while, and that's what we've seen. If All-Stars can get one more good amp run in, I think that may lock up this second map and that point. If SOW can flip that around, though, amp is up right now. And Tamerlane just going to sort of stumble across it, so this could be a big moment here. I don't know if All-Stars lost timing of that amp, or, I mean, they'd been all over it before. Maybe they just opted to concede it, given that they had a big lead and wanted to make sure they controlled the rest of the map. Tamerlane dropping one big double damage sniper in there, looking for more. Still 7 seconds left. Lots of time to make something happen here. He's going to turn this corner and have a target. There's one. Demon Spree goes down. Ooh, can't get another shot. He actually would have had 2 targets if he had turned around there, but nevertheless, cutting into the lead, but look at that. 2 quick kills by All-Stars. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. Looks like they're going to probably be in pretty good shape to ride this one out. 100 armor vests being split pretty effectively, 2-to-1 on belts, but again, that amp time, still a 2-to-1 lead in amp time for All-Stars, and not just a matter of the time, a matter of what they've been doing with it. We don't have a stat that shows specifically amp kills, but I guarantee you All-Stars amp kills has been, ooh, way higher. And Rookie with the mid-air dodging headshot. Just going to close things out on a high note there. This will be the end of Rookie's matchup. Remember, this is the semifinals, and every player can only play in two game types per matchup. So Rookie played in the 4v4. This will be his 2v2. If they go on to win this map, he'll be on the bench waiting for his team to, from his perspective, hopefully win those duels. And from SOW's perspective, same thing from these guys, right? Nobody can play more than 2 game types. Gonna kind of just watch your teammates and hope that they can get the job done in the duel portion. Up to a 30 frag lead now. Allstars running away with this one towards the end. And what was such a tense opening, I mean, it looked like we were gonna have a game kind of like Rankin, where SOW just hung in there. They actually took the lead in the comeback in the opening minutes, but Allstars, you saw that in the middle of the map. We pointed it out. Had 2 amp runs back to back that were just bonkers, and then a bunch of control in between, right? They didn't just get kills, but they also picked up all the power-ups. They scooped up timing on everything. Demon went on a rampage, and that really put things away here. And there is the concession with 3 minutes to go. So second point in this matchup to Allstars. That means it is match point for Allstars. 2 best of 3 duels left to play. If either one of them wins for Allstars, they will move on. SOW has to win both. So we'll head on out of here. We'll bring that bracket back up, and I'm going to alt-tab for a second. So who do we got up here? I'm going to check out the matchup. Looks like we've got Reflex dueling for Allstars versus Psy. And then duel number 2 will be Fantasy versus Dion. So again, only 1 more point needed. We'll have Reflex versus Psy is going to be on Erase, Bone, and ASDF. So we'll look for that to pop up and bring you that here any moment. All right, looks like match is up and running, or is that a warm-up game? That's a warm-up game. We're going to head over to London Hub. Players are in the hub, though, so... Or actually, no, we might be starting on New York City. Let's see what we got. Again, we are looking for Reflex and Psy, it looks like. I'm gonna guess Erase. Oh no, because you get the first map because they have the higher seed. So yeah, so Erase would have been Reflex's pick. Bone gonna be Psy's pick. And then ASDF would be the tiebreaker. All right, just looking for this to go up and running. Trying to follow Twitch chat. Already 85 people though on the stream, so appreciate that, everyone. Joining us after a long day yesterday, getting set for a long day today. One of the biggest weekends of Unreal Tournament matches I think we've ever had, because normally we split this out a little bit more, but going back to back. Okay, I do see. All right, match is up. We're going to join on in there. Again, Reflex versus Psy. And again, just to cover the points portion, so it's going to be first, or it's going to be best of 5, first team to 3. They split 4v4. 2v2 goes to All-Stars. So All-Stars, it is match point. They just need to win one best-of-3 duel. SOW's got to win both. Going to be a tall, tall order against All-Stars, who has a very deep duel roster. Pardon me while I alt-tab for 1 second here. All right, we are all set. So for those of you that are settling in for the long haul with us, don't forget to hydrate, grab yourself some snacks, definitely stretch, move around. I will be doing the same in between matches myself. Speaking of matches myself, looks like players are all ready to go here. And here is your countdown, 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Con X5 jumping into the duel portion of this matchup. All-Stars able to take a 2-1 lead in the overall matchup. It is match point for them. Any best-of-3 duel win will earn them a seat in the grand finals. Remember, both teams here have already guaranteed themselves money. But of course, that's going to just go up and up the further you get. All-Stars, remember, are Season 1 champions, trying to come back in Season 3 and defend that. Ooh, Reflex. This map is really kind of a playground for a player like Reflex. Likes that mid to long range fight. Not a lot of players are really going to be able to stand up toe to toe in a mid to long range hit scan contest against Reflex. Psy's best bet on a map like this is going to be to try to bait him into some sort of ambushes. Maybe get into some close range fights over the belts. You can get some flat, some rockets. This is a map, too, where prediction rockets can be huge. Even some combos. We've seen some players that like to roam around the middle of this map and kind of just catch people moving, right? And all of a sudden, you do 200 damage with a combo, and you can really get on top of someone. But speaking of on top, I mean, that's where Reflex is right now, just on a roll starting this match off. And, of course, Reflex been one of the top duelers in the world for quite a while now. I mean, once you get a player like this rolling, it can be very hard to break that control. Psy doing just that. I mean, you see those rockets coming out again. This is a map. It's mostly open, mostly known for those mid to long range fights. But you see, it got him down to 4 HP there off of those rockets. You can imagine one of those rockets hitting an inch, 2 inches closer, right? And all of a sudden, he wins that fight and Reflex is dead. So, I mean, you just saw how fast you can lay that damage down. Oh, and if he had hit that combo, full damage would have taken him out. So, Psy getting the right idea here, right? Trying to ambush, trying to set up some of that. Belt actually is up, and Psy actually steals it, so a big win there by Psy. Reflex still looking good in a 6-1 lead, or 6-0 lead, but here is the challenge, and there's the first kill, looking for the spawn kill. We've seen players get 2-3 kills in a row, and the big aggressive play by Psy doesn't go for the 100, goes for the kill. I like that play. You're down 6-0 a couple minutes in. There's no reason to slow this match down once you take control. Now, unfortunately for him, Reflex able to grab that shock rifle and a sniper, so Reflex going to be well equipped. And a little bit of dead time here by Psy, maybe setting up one of those ambushes, trying to anticipate where Reflex is coming. 2 quick shots, looking for another flak. He had a big flat primary early. If he can land another one off the wall, he does it. Pulls within 3. And another rocket juggle coming out. Psy now on a roll, pulling back within 2. Shield belt is his. And if he can keep this impeccable timing, it's going to go a long way towards allowing him to stay on this roll. But Reflex, of course, going to challenge that. Negates that belt. Oh, I like the idea. He had that combo lined up perfectly, just couldn't quite connect. See what Reflex is looking for. Trying to set up, when you get back by that 100 armor, you get kind of trapped in that corner. Those shock traps can be very deadly. Reflex trying to be aggressive here, kind of interesting. He doesn't have any armor. It looks like he's trying to track down Psy. It's almost like he thinks Psy is weaker than he really is. This is a dangerous play by Reflex. Kind of uncharacteristic, but it might be calculated. He might kind of have an idea, you know, what he's going for there. He's able to ping him twice from behind, and suddenly Reflex back in control of this battle. 10 seconds till the belt spawns, though, and Psy here is in position if he wants it. Finally backs up to grab that health. I thought he was going to do that earlier. Ooh, this time he may have to run away and give up that belt. So belt goes back to Reflex, who's still in the lead. Now Psy's going to have to scramble a bit. Nice sniper shot there. He's going to have to hit 1 or 2 more, though, to really turn Reflex away. He's back up to 150 armor already. So that's a smart rocket right there. He threw it where he thought Reflex was going to be. Oh, and he misses a jump there. You saw him throw the rockets at the lift. So great instincts by Psy here. He does go down, but you saw him throwing those rockets right behind him, right where he thought Reflex was going to chase from. If you can catch him with a couple of shots like that, could be big. Reflex, though, back up to a 3-frag lead, make it 4 with the beautiful mid-air combo. And we're about halfway through this one. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. You can see pretty close as far as armor controls go, but significantly more damage for Reflex. Psy was able to do for a while there what we said he needed to do, which is back up, bait Reflex into running into combos, and ooh, and rockets hit a couple big flak primaries. But now he's going to have Reflex completely stacked up, trying to hunt him down and trying to take back control of this map. You see the offset there, 100 armor up about 10 seconds after the belt. That's going to mean that whoever controls that belt will likely control that 100 armor. Ooh, and then respawn right in front of him. This could be another kill. Reflex right now, you can see him going through his checkdowns, basically guessing left, right, left, right. I think he can go left or right here, but I want him to go left, so I'm going to go right to make sure he doesn't pick up the shock rifle. There's a million calculations that go on in a player's head right there. And I almost wish you could break it down in slow motion with him and say, okay, what were you thinking here? Why did you choose left instead of right? Why did you throw the shock ball left instead of right? Why did you stay high instead of dropping low? There's so many decisions to be made. And right now, Reflex is just making the right ones. Ooh, going mid-air versus a shock rifle is going to be very dangerous. 2 easy shots for Reflex. And Psy now looks like he wants to challenge this belt, but that combo... Oh, he actually gets the kill. Psy stands in there despite taking 2 shots. Reflex already answering back with the sniper shot, but Psy does still have some armor. If he can get another shot here, unfortunately only has shock and sniper, no close range weapons to really work with them. Both players in a missing contest right now. The first shot's gonna get a kill, and it's Reflex. Reflex with 10 HP comes away with the kill there. He takes 1 enforcer shot. He could go down to another. Oh, the rocket just barely misses, and Psy again. And there's the mid-air rocket, but again, just an inch away from getting a kill with the rocket. So he does knock Reflex off of his perch just a bit. Still a 7-frag lead, though, so Reflex can really play whatever game he wants. And I think right now, oh, the headshot right there, that may have sealed the deal. Reflex wanting to be aggressive and challenge. He wants to force Psy to basically play his game right now. So Reflex up big. It's an 8-frag lead. We've seen leads disappear on this map in a hurry, but 9 and 2.5 minutes going to be very difficult. So the spawns on this map are very exposed. You can sometimes guess, get about a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 chance of guessing right. And you get yourself an instant kill off the spawn. One of the few maps that can really, really lead to multiple kills in a row. And right now, Reflex, again, just on a roll, just out-damaging him. I mean, at this point, he's just out-shooting. Take a quick look. I don't think you're going to have any eye-popping. I mean, 55% sniper. It's pretty far up there. 34 shots taken, but, I mean, really, the damage is going to do the talking here. It's about 700 more damage. 9 to 3 vest. That's going to start adding up as well. So Psy's been challenging those belts really well, as you can see. But Reflex here just winning the last couple minutes and pulling ahead by 12. Looks like he's going to take map number 1. So we do see Psy getting back into the swing of things. And here's the thing, again, only map 1. This is a best of 3. And again, match point for All-Stars. So it looks like this map's going to go to Reflex. Unless Psy finds, you know, a Redeemer on the map. Maybe even a Zark Rifle. So Reflex is going to take map 1. That'll be match point. All they need is one more map in this matchup to seal their place in the finals. Psy still has one or two more maps in this matchup though, so he can try to get himself going, try to loosen up. He had his moments in this map, kind of in that first, or I guess that second quarter, if you will, of the game. He kind of got what he wanted out of Reflex. He was baiting him into close range fights. He was ambushing him with flak and rockets. Exactly what we wanted to see him do. But in the end, it looks like Reflex just too much for him.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4.
So there you go. Reflex taking map 1. They're going to move over to the North American hub for map 2. Looks like that's going to be Bone Bone, if I'm not mistaken, which would be a very aggressive map and one that perhaps Psy can use to his advantage to close that gap. Again, you want to talk about a map where you can catch people with instant kill rockets. I mean, Bone Bone is definitely that map. I'm going to look for the GCPE server. Not sure if that one's up. We'll keep an eye on that. I'm going to give you those brackets to look at. Chew on that in the meantime while we wait for this next match to get up and running. All right, looks like we're on NYC instead of GCPE. So we'll head over to there, jump in here, and get all up and running here.
To the king, baby.
Oh, or maybe they decided to rehost, because right now we've just got Riker versus Nocturne. I'm more of a Spock guy myself, but hey. Wasn't the Riker the name of the ship that you escape in the first Unreal? Right? So maybe doing some ping tests right now. I saw Psy started a game on NYC. I think they're maybe looking to get, try a couple different servers. I mean, I'm just saying maybe that's something they could have done before this point, but GCP East is up. I think that's the server that Psy had asked for. Hub is up, so hopefully they'll be jumping in here any second now. Vortex Rikers. That sounds more familiar, yeah. I need to play through Unreal Gold again sometime soon. It's something I do every few years. One of my favorite co-op shooters ever, honestly. Like the open-ended nature of the maps, it almost feels like you get to the Sunspire and you're like, this is a Zelda level. I'm playing a Zelda level while dodging and shooting, rockets and shot combos and stuff. It's just this weird amalgamation of design from a time when they were just pulling from everything, right? Imagine running around Ocarina of Time, dodging and shooting rockets. Nowadays, everything is so curated and critical path, you're just kind of running A to B to C. I kind of liked being able to just like break the levels, like boost your teammate over a wall and all of a sudden you're running along a tram rail or whatever and you're hitting the exit. If anyone's feeling enterprising, I would love to see a co-op speedrun of Unreal as well. That's been on my list of things that I don't have time to do for a long time. All right, Reflex has a server up. We'll jump into there.
Hail to the king, baby.
All right, Reflex in a server. I expect we'll see Psy join soon. This was the hub that he requested, so should have him in here soon. And again, as a reminder, this is match point. So if Reflex wins this map, Allstars secures a place in the grand final coming up later today. We will see SOW playing in the third place match though, coming up after this next quarterfinal. And that's got big implications too. Again, it's a 4-3-2-1 split with the prize money. So twice as much, if I'm not mistaken, twice as much prize money going to third place as fourth. So it's still a lot to play for, even in that third place match. Well, I do see Reflex in here. I'm not sure. Psy may have needed to take a quick bathroom break or something, but you can you can really admire the glowing sheen of Reflex's coat. He's really groomed himself this season and put himself in position for best of show. That's just the unbiased opinion of a commentator here. We'll let the judges do the talking. So here we go. We are on Reflex's home server, if you will. Psy's map pick. This will be Bone. This will be an interesting one. So this is one where we talked about where Psy was able to do well in map 1 was whenever he could close the gap, make things messy, bait Reflex into rockets and flag. You can definitely do that on this map. This is also just such a snowbally map though. Once somebody gets control, you can just run this map like crazy and be hyper aggressive. It reminds me a lot of some of the old school small Quake maps where you just like run around and you're just aggressive the whole time with no time to breathe for your opponent. We've seen players go up 7-10 points in an instant on this map. So we'll see what happens here. Again, match point for Allstars, SOW trying to stay alive. All right, players, you ready? Here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Con X5 jumping into map 2 of this duel. Reflex giving his team match point. They're one map away from heading to those grand finals. SOW trying to stay alive here. Psy's going to need to try to do everything he can to keep Reflex off balance. You see, just trying to do that again. Whenever he had luck in map 1 is whenever he was able to bait him. Oh, into those close range fights. First 100 armor comes up and Reflex will be on top of it. Psy gonna try to be aggressive, but a little bit late to the party. He was one enforcer shot away. We saw that so many times in map 1. Psy was an inch away with the rocket. We saw Reflex survive a fight with 4 HP, I think, at one point. Like, just the story of the matchup. Psy there does finish him off with a sniper rifle, though. And Reflex going to be respawning here, and no armor really on the board, so there's a chance for Psy. He ties it right back up. You've got Belt and 100 armor still in sync, so one player can take one can take another. Oh, you saw the smiley there. Reflex feeds him a flak ball, but Shield Belt goes to Psy, and this could be a big opportunity if he can crank out some kills. This is one of those maps. 100 armor is still up. If Psy can get that 100 armor, he can turn right back around and be aggressive, and I think he missed his lift jump that he wanted. Still, will beat him in the foot race to the 100. One more shot will get him a kill, but Rockets by Reflex going to take him down, and he just clips the wall. Reflex chases him down with the flak. That's a smart play by Reflex. Knew he had him on the ropes. Again, this map is so snowbally. You can't let your opponent have any kind of upper hand. We are tied up here in the early moments. I'm afraid to even, I'll give you a quick look at the scoreboard. I'm afraid to spend too much time on it just because the action is so fast on this map. Reflex, you can see, waiting for a sniper rifle. You can take a bunch of peek shots. This level's so small. Ooh, I don't know if he wanted to go up that lift or not, but if he did, he would have been face-to-face with Psy. Sniper versus Shock. Neither player having rockets or flak out, and there's the bait by Psy. Gets another big rocket on Reflex. He gets a big flak, answers back with the shield belt, though, and just what we saw last map. This time, reversed. Psy gets away with 13 HP, backed into that belt mid-fight. That's the only reason he stayed alive. The rocket bait by Reflex took him down. And Psy now on a roll. And what I'm finding interesting here is, off these fights, Reflex is opting to be aggressive and chase him down. Psy actually not going for those kills. He's taking so much damage in these fights. Rather than roaming around looking for those double kills off the spawn like we often see, he's, instead going to be a little more careful, but you look at that direct rocket, the torpedo call out, and Psy back up by 2. Reflex with the kill there, pulling back within 1. And here you see this fight over the 50 armor. I'm actually surprised how intense this fight's being. Jumps in with the flak. Psy missed it that time. We saw some clutch flak primaries being hit on Erase, but misses it in that scenario. Eats a ton of Link. Big combo by Reflex, who, ends up getting the 100 armor as well. Unfortunate by Psy, was in position to try to grab that 100 armor. Maybe tank some damage instead. Gives up the kill and the power up, and this could be a big opportunity now for Reflex. Try to assert himself and try to grab some control of this map, which has kind of just been flipping back and forth. Shockball hits. There's one rocket. Ooh, grabs the 50, and this is going to be a bad position for Psy. Going down 2, and now will Reflex be aggressive? He's got a little bit of armor. Actually, his opponent respawned right in front of him. There's the follow-up, and there's the killing spree. 5 straight kills for Reflex. Jumping out into a lead. Belt will be his, looking pretty comfortable in this map now. So Reflex with the chase down, and that's exactly what we saw. I mean, he's got 6 kills in a row, and we were saying earlier on, once you get control of this map, you can just be aggressive, and really push the fights before your opponent has an opportunity to stack up. A lot of other maps, you respawn, unless you get unlucky, you can kind of back up a little bit, grab a couple vials, maybe grab a small armor, a couple of weapons, and you'll have an opportunity to basically stock up before your next fight. This map, nice ambush there by Psy. This map, you are not guaranteed an armor. You are not guaranteed a weapon. And just like that, down to a 2-frag game. We're just about past the halfway point. Again, give you a refresher. This is SOW versus Allstars. It is match point here in the quarterfinal for Allstars. The SOW fighting for their lives. And there's another ambush with the rockets. Reflex Back up by 3. These two really adjusting well to the style of map. I mean, we saw what we saw in a race. Reflex knows he can't just sit back and shock and snipe like he didn't, or like he could, you know, a lot of the situations in a race. Having to adjust to the different size of the map. Big flak shots coming in. Looks like Psy's gonna respawn over by the sniper rifle. Get an angle over there on him. And that's one of the things about this map too, since it's so small. Oh, nice rockets by a Reflex. Since it's so small, you can make up a deficit very quickly. If you can flip control, and there's some rockets. They trade in midair, rockets versus sniper. It's all going to come down to the spawns now. Reflex gets shock rifle, 50, and some vials. Shield belt looks like it went to Psy, and this could be an opportunity for him if we can bait him into some rockets. Ooh, but big shock shots by Reflex just gets the most of that fight. Trading damage back and forth, just pummeling each other, and Psy actually ending up now. We're going to go on board with him. He's got 150 armor, 120 health. Missing a couple jumps here. Remember, he is playing with a higher ping. Oh, big combo. Fading away from that one. Trying to bait Reflex. I like this play. He's not going to be able to play the rest of the map like this just due to the amount of time left, but turning the corner, nails him with the rocket, and another follow-up. Perfect timing there. 100 armor goes to him, and this is where you can crank out multiple kills in a row when you get that armor off the spawn like that. Really nowhere for Reflex to hide. He's going to have to fight him here in the midair to midair rocket. Psy takes himself out. That's actually a pretty good trade for Reflex. He's got to reset Psy, but he does get that 150 armor from that shield belt. Still pretty good control of the map at this point by Psy. It's all going to be a matter of can he crank out these kills in time, and can Reflex break that stack down. Looks like he's going right at him with the link gun. Pulling within 3 now is Psy, trying to find Reflex off the spawn. He heard him going for that sniper rifle. Not surprising. Oh, that flak. I was really looking for that flak ball. That was, oh, and then flaks himself in the face. Psy missing the close range flak. Timing it again just a little bit off, and that might be what does it right there. There's certainly time left. You can certainly get 4 kills in 2 minutes on this map, but he had a great opportunity there. And definitely high ping flak, it must be said, not the easiest thing in the world. In fact, for me, probably one of the hardest things with high ping. So Psy doing well, pulling back within 3. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. You can see 5-2 belts for Psy actually. Controlling the armors very well, but 1,000 more damage for Reflex. So a minute and a half needs 2 frags. You can absolutely do that on this map, but down to 25 HP. He's just living off that shield belt at this point. $100 armor on top of that, and Reflex has to be careful here. Psy down to 60 armor, but he keeps giving up that belt. He's going to basically double the amount of damage he has to do. And Psy now on the run. Reflex trying to finish him off. One more kill will probably lock this one up, and there it is. Reflex with 9 HP though, so he may go down again, and then we could still maybe see something interesting happen here. Oh, he gets away with 4 HP. Somehow avoids that link gun. Soaks up some health. But standing in there against the link, so interesting play. Reflex trying to be aggressive. Doesn't want to win this one by backing up. But Psy here taking a lot of time off the clock here, waiting for that belt. He has to get a kill right now and then look for the follow-up. We've seen it happen on this map before. He's got the mid-air flak and he's down by 1 with 30 seconds to go. Looking for that respawn to try to stay alive. Oh, Reflex with a clutch snipe. One more shot could do it. 25 seconds left. SOW facing elimination. Allstars looking at a chance to hit the grand finals, and the headshot seals the deal. That will likely do it. And we should see now Allstars earning a trip to the grand finals. And I don't think he's going to have time here. There is the countdown. Reflex coming out alive. Psy giving him all he could handle, though. Look at that control. 72 belts, 11 to 500 armor. Significantly more damage for Reflex, but Psy actually did a pretty masterful job of basically baiting him to chase him around the map. That's as much trouble as we've seen Reflex given in a duel. Certainly a map he's probably played less than some of the others. Something like a race has been played a lot longer in this game. So really nice showing there by Psy, but in the end, All-Stars moving on, and I think they might play the last duel in this matchup. I'll let them figure that out. That's what we were doing yesterday. But in the end, All-Stars going to move forward. We'll take a look at the bracket now. We'll get that updated for you in between matches. So SOW going to move into that third place match coming up after the next quarter, or the next semifinal rather, between SAS and LATAM. And All-Stars back in the finals again. Remember, they won season 1 by 1 point over SAS. SAS winning season 2. And SAS basically perfect this season during the regular season. Actually, that's another pretty graphic we can take a look at, courtesy of the UTPL team here. So you can see Saints and Sinners, the only point that they dropped all season long was to All-Stars. So if SAS, they'd certainly be the favorite against LATAM in this next match. If they go on into the finals, it'll be a matchup between our 2 previous season winners. But of course, LATAM will have something to say about that. All-Stars has done what they need to do. Again, $5,000 prize pool. So already a big payday for All-Stars, earning themselves a chance to fight over the number 1 and number 2 spot. We are looking for LATAM and SAS now to see if we're going to do this last duel or if they're going to go ahead and jump into this next matchup. All right, so we're going to head back over to these playoff brackets, give you something to look at. While they figure out what's going to play next, I'm going to go ahead and take just a quick water break, refresh that. Got to stay hydrated for the long haul here. We're about a quarter of the way through, though, so appreciate everyone. Already up to almost 100 viewers. Appreciate everyone for the support. And we'll have either the last kind of show match here between SOW and All-Stars, or we'll be kicking off Saints and Sinners versus LATAM coming up next. Be back in just a couple of minutes. All right, looks like we are going to be playing this last duel between SOW and All-Stars. So we're going to be up on London Hub. Looks like Fantasy versus Dion. We'll jump into there and bring you that. So again, match already determined. All-Stars going to move on to the finals, but still another match to play for each of these teams. So maybe just a good well, maybe not. I'm hearing back and forth. I'll be in the server here if they decide to play. We'll bring you that. If they decide to skip to the next match, either way is fine with me. All right, well, it looks like they're going to go ahead and play this, so we're going to hang out in here. Again, Fantasy versus Dion. Mostly just a show match here for you guys, but both players may be wanting to stay sharp. They both have another match to play after this. So here's their countdown, 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Connex 5 here, closing you out for SOW versus Allstars. We just saw Allstars lock down their spot in the grand finals. SOW still has a third place match, remember, following our next quarterfinal. And of course, Allstars will be playing in the grand final. Probably a good amount of time until then. Now you got 2 matches between then, so probably a good 5-hour break for them. But Fantasy wanting to get a little bit of practice in. Dion, of course, wanting to get sharp. Big combo to open things up by Fantasy. So we see these shots going back and forth. So far, nothing really big other than that opening volley. And so one thing we might see here, sometimes when you got these practice matches, you might see a little extra aggression on the side of both players, knowing that they're not necessarily, don't necessarily have anything to lose here, right? It's just a practice game. Sometimes that can be extra entertaining, actually. But you might see some players take risks that they might not always do if there's a couple grand on the line. As certainly was the case earlier. Again, we have a $5,000 prize pool split between all the top 4 teams. So all the 4 teams that you're going to see in action today are already guaranteed money. So that's always nice. Spreading the love down the line. So appreciate all of the sponsors involved. Of course, Raise Your Edge Gaming for being the primary kind of sponsor and administrators of this event. You can see the matching playstyles here. Fantasy and Dion, both basically just trying to get some initial, I guess, spike damage before engaging. Right? Fantasy perfectly happy to just run around methodically, look for that big sniper shot, maybe a headshot, maybe bait Dion into a combo, then go in with like the link gun or a finisher and try to, very classic playstyle. Same game type, or game style, I should say, by Dion. Ooh, a couple of nice shots we've seen go back and forth. Dion's actually lined up a couple nice combos. Nothing really big enough to fully go all in on, though. And you can see Fantasy's doing a great job of running the map, just soaking up resources, basically taking the 1-0 lead and just stretching it out, like taking more and more time off the clock. It's been a 1-0 game for almost 3 minutes now. Now it's 2-0. Fantasy gonna look for that spawn kill. Oh, he actually missed him. He spawned right to his left, right in front of him, and I don't think he hurt him. And this is those chances, right? The spawning right there on the shield belt, grabbing the flak. Dion probably doesn't take that spawn. He might, but it would be that spawn would be a very calculated risk in a high stakes game. I think versus Fantasy here, maybe willing to take that risk, and it ends up paying off. He ends up grabbing that shield completely untouched, grabs the 100 armor as well, and Dion just completely flipped map control. But by the same token, if Fantasy's playing in a game where there's, a couple $1,000s on the line, he might have played that differently as well. So some people might question some of the moves you see in this match. Just keep that in mind. These two are basically just giving us an exhibition game here to close out that match. So we got 10 seconds to this belt spawns. Nice headshot by Dion. And this is what either player wants to do. They want to hit that headshot, keep the other player on their heels. And now that Dion's got this belt, he knows he's going to get away unharassed. He can really force the issue. He doesn't want to eat those combos. And that's the problem. Whenever you let your opponent have that kind of a stock of weapons built up, they're going to be able to do that. They're going to set up those ambushes, set up those traps. It's going to be a little bit harder to get in. So you see Dion here has the high ground, Fantasy just trying to guess. I mean, it's kind of a 50-50. Oh, he's trying to ambush with Flak. You can see him crawling around. So whenever you crouch, you don't make noise. You don't make footsteps. So that's what he's trying to do there, trying to sneak up on him. Ooh, give him a nice little love tap with the Flak. Only hits him once with the shock. Couple more shock shots coming in. He goes all in here with the Flak versus Rockets, and Fantasy may decide to double back, or he may decide to just ambush. He's going to go for the ambush, and I think Fantasy's going to be happy to scoop up the 100 armor here. Oh, but he doesn't get there in time. Dion gets a free shot on him, and crucially, that shot came after Fantasy grabbed the 100 armor. So if Fantasy had grabbed the 100 after he got shot there, he would still have full armor, and he would be able to soak up that damage and health, and then go top it back off. Oh, big rockets coming in. That is the danger when you hang out down there in the shield belt area, especially when it's not spawning. Both players right now just trading blows, but nobody going all in. I'm actually kind of surprised neither player's pulled out the link gun and pushed hard for a kill. Fantasy is just soaking up those 100 armors. And you can see right now Dion dropping almost 400 or almost 500 damage additional. They've been splitting the shield belts. 7-3 vests though for Fantasy. We said he's soaking up those 100 armors, made a huge difference so far in Fantasy with another combo. Dion didn't even see it coming. You can see from his perspective, wasn't even looking that direction. Just got blasted. So Dion's been kind of dinking and dunking, you know, chipping away, trying to hit Fantasy any opportunity he can. But Fantasy has just been running the map, constantly in control, and constantly has the armor and health advantage. And every time Dion does extra damage to him, Fantasy just runs away and stacks right back up. And that's kind of the downside. When you have that methodical, when you have that slow, strategic play style that Dion has, and Fantasy has for that matter, you have to be able to turn it on. You have to be able to make your opponent uncomfortable. Because if you get matched up against another player that has a similar style, you can't count on them chasing you into combos, into rockets. The ambushes are going to have to be forced by you rather than forced by their mistakes. And right now, Fantasy, we've seen him do this before in matches, getting all the way up to 199 over 150. He's a few vials away from it. Wouldn't be shocked to see it happen. So here we go, Fantasy 143 over 170. Just looking to finish him off one more time, maybe going a killing spree here. But again, with 2 minutes on the clock and a 4-0 lead and complete control of the map. Although he might give up. Oh no, Dion gonna run away, gonna go for the ambush, giving up the 100 armor. Bold move there. Now he's gonna back off. I think Fantasy was actually fine conceding that 100 in order to back up and get the belt, but Dion maybe wanted to chase him away just to make sure he didn't get sniped on that 100 armor himself. But Fantasy, you can see right now, a full assortment of weapons, full stack of armor, was almost all the way up on health at one point. $100 armor does go to Dion, so Fantasy's given up a little bit of control of that 100. But again, with time running down, I think he's fine to just sort of slide on out of this one. 500 damage differential for Dion. You can see the taunting coming out by Fantasy. And keep in mind now, this is unlike kind of earlier matchups in the season and even practice games and stuff. These two will never meet again this season, right? Like, this is it between these two teams. Their seasons aren't over. But there's no future games to talk about, so whether that means you're extra nice to someone or extra savage, I mean, either way, it's not like you're going to have to play them again this season. Potential for Season 4, that's a conversation for another time, but in any case, there's always opportunity for roster changes. We certainly saw a bunch of roster changes this year, so you never know. Someone could always end up being your teammate next season. You really never know. There's the concession. Fantasy dropping the spree with 13 seconds left to go. It looks like we're going to go to NYC for map 2, which looking at the documentation here, it looks like map 2 will be Bone again. So maybe a similar strategy here as we saw against Reflex, trying to close that gap, playing against a player who's very strategic, wants to slow things down. Exactly what we saw by Fantasy on that game. Oh, actually they're saying Leah. So what I saw was that Leah would be the tiebreaker, map 3, but again, it's a show match here. We're basically just closing this match out with some content for you guys. Oh no, they are going to go to Bone. Okay. Hold on, we got a spell check and activate our field lattice generators. Don't forget that. Shout out to the UT3 single player / co-op campaigns writing with the super problematic Malcolm and the field lattice generators. Man, just imagine the amount of money that they put towards that. Just think about it.
King, baby.
Sorry, is it too early in the day to start drinking? Sorry, everybody. Dion admitting to stream snipe. Now, I hope Dion understands. We are in a 20-second delay plus whatever Twitch delays. So you're probably looking at about a 22, 25-second delay. Speaking of delays, he couldn't play the last map before going pee. Obviously, we should all have our gaming diapers on by now. Look, if we can make our own masks that we can customize for quarantine, we can make our own gamer diapers. Maybe with some flames on the side. Sorry, just doing some alt tabbing here. Checking things out, making sure I've got everything in order. All right, so again, Fantasy and Dion, basically a show match here. We're gonna close out this match and then move on to our moving on to our last semifinal next. That'll be LATAM versus SAS. All right, players are ready. And here is your countdown. 3, 2, 1. And it's game time, baby. Con X5 jumping into potentially the last map between these two. Probably will be either way. Again, just an exhibition game here to keep our schedule in order. And a quick headshot. Fantasy opening up live again. This is going to be a much more aggressive game for Fantasy. We saw in a race, ended up winning 5-0, basically just running the map, really just holding control. Dion actually doing something like 20 to 25% more damage, but complete map control by Fantasy. And there you see very, very patient lineup of that shot. This is going to be a map he's very familiar with, though. So Fantasy, remember, came from UT3. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it was a console player in UT3. Somebody feel free to fill me in on more details there. But so really long and the short of it is, he's seen this map before. It ain't going to be a secret to him. Oh, he had it lined up for a perfect combo. Couldn't hit it. Nice rocket around the corner. And this is such a tough spot to be in down in that goalie. Somehow Dion gets out of it, but now he's going to be facing that stinger Oh, and Fantasy missing that jump is going to mean he can't quite get the shot he wanted off the spawn. Dion will get that 100 armor, but does go down. So a quick 4-0 lead, and this is such a snowball map. Once you take control, especially if one player is more familiar with it than another, you can see matches end very quickly. Again, kind of reminiscent of the old, Quake matches where you have a 15-minute time limit, and after about 4 minutes, someone already knows it's over. So Fantasy already up to 156 over 150. We saw something like this on a race. Of course, not uncommon to see him with a complete stack on a map. I don't know if he actually times vials, but he definitely builds rotations around them. And that's smart because most maps have vials. Oh, the nice, I guess, shock combo in a sense. He didn't quite hit the actual combo and then feeds him a flak ball. Fantasy just providing an all-you-can-eat buffet for Dion, giving him a little bit of flak, a little bit of shock, a little bit of rockets. There's another flak ball. And some shards, a little bit of sprinkles on top. And already up to 187 health. As I was saying, so a lot of the maps will provide vials to help you kind of get... Dion going to be humping the air over there in the corner. Ooh, almost smacks him down with the rocket. There's a lot of mid-air rockets that can happen on this map because of all of the, not only does he smash him with the flak ball right there, but Dion's kind enough to just throw him his rocket launcher as he dies. That would be a nice slow motion shot right there. The flak ball splatter and then just the rocket launcher landing directly in his arms. Fantasy knows he has this one well in order, sort of just, again, giving us a show. If you missed it earlier, Allstars did secure their spot in the grand final, so they're just closing it out here, having a little bit of fun. And maybe staying sharp, because again, SOW has to play, after our next semifinal match, we'll have the third place match with them and the loser of the next round. So somebody, either LATAM or SAS, are going to have to play back-to-back matches, which can be very exhausting. These two teams, at the very least, have a break, 1 or 2 matches, depending on the team. Look at that. The prediction by Fantasy. You think he knows this map a little bit? Ooh, almost the mid-air self-rock. He's popping him up, looking for the frag video juggle there. This map provides a lot of opportunities for mid-air rockets because there's so many ways to get popped up into the air. There's lots of lifts like that. Get a lot of lift jumps, people wall dodging off of walls. Remember, in UT3, it had significantly higher air control, so it's actually a little easier to avoid that. This game, you got a little bit lower air control, and so you're just kind of a sitting duck in mid-air. I mean, you just, wow, a nice headshot right in the middle of my sentence there. But yeah, I was saying, in this game you have a little bit less air control. You do have all the walls to dodge off of. You're also going to get a lot of splash damage from those though. So if you want to build a frag video, this is not a bad map to run around on with your friends. Is all I'm really saying. I mean, Dion, Fantasy does have the ping advantage on this hub. Dion did have the ping advantage map 1. In any case, Fantasy doing more damage this time on top of the power-up control. Not a single shield belt here yet for Dion. He's hovering around it right now. But we are past the halfway point, and it looks like we're going to be closing this one out with another win for Allstars. Pretty nice comeback for Allstars. SOW, remember, SOW took the very first 4v4 map. They won Nitro. And Allstars, wouldn't say it was panic mode time for them, but certainly, you go down in a matchup, you have to have that mental stability to be like, all right, they won their map, we're going to win our map. I should say our server, I suppose, because they beat each other, I believe, on each other's map picks. So going into Spacer was actually kind of an interesting situation because, again, I don't think Allstars particularly likes Spacer, just from what I've seen. Again, it's not based on any kind of insider information, but certainly they don't really choose that map. But they performed really well on it, ended up taking that point back. Of course, we saw the 2v2 and the double kill there with the Lincoln Rockets. So Dion getting on the board against Fantasy. That's a moral victory. I believe the last one was 5-0 and now 13-1. So Dion, again though, like we joke about it, but you know, like, there's one more match for either or for both of these players still coming up today. So day not over for either one of them, and certainly going to be looking at significant amounts of money on the line in their future matches as well. So while they're kind of goofing off a little bit, there is a certain amount of warming up and staying sharp involved as well. So end of the first match coming up. Allstars taking 4 over SOW. Going to move on to the grand finals. SOW will be back with us in the third place game after our next semifinal. Already over the 100 viewer mark. Appreciate that, everyone. Definitely let your friends know. We still got a lot of video games left to play. SAS versus LATAM, the other semifinal happening very quickly after this one. Then jumping into the third place game, and then our grand finals coming up later tonight / this afternoon, depending on where you're from. Maybe early morning. I don't know if we've got any Australian folks in the stream. We do see that from time to time. Let us know, though, if anybody's coming in the stream from, you know, the Asia-Pacific kind of region. We definitely have lots of North Americans. Of course, lots of South Americans. We've actually got LATAM coming up next. Pretty much the South American UT community represented there. But anyone from Africa, anyone from Asia Pacific region, definitely let us know. Love to have diverse viewership here. All right, so going to take us out of the last minute here. You can actually see this is another one where Dion's done tons of damage, but nothing happening. Only about 100 damage difference. In fact, I might even get closer here with that link gun. And almost takes the lead. So Dion and Fantasy, almost identical damage. Remember, Dion did something like 500 more damage on the race. Still couldn't take it. Just the map control of Fantasy in effect. See if he can carry that forward, but the big goose shot by Fantasy. This is a big map for Goo as well. You don't see it come out often, but you know, you're so predictable. You have so many close range opportunities, mid-air shots. Bio can be very effective on this map. All right, here is your countdown. 3 seconds. And Allstars officially makes their way to the grand finals. They've got a good, probably 4 to 5 hour layover now. They're going to go eat some food, take a nap, cuddle with the cat, whatever's going to happen. Get themselves ready to come back and play against the winner of our next semifinal coming up next. So we're going to back out of that one, head over to our playoff bracket. We'll get that updated for you. But you just saw it. Allstars taking it over SOW. We do have SAS versus LATAM coming up next. They should be ready to go here. But I'm going to take myself just a quick couple-minute break. We'll be back here and ready to go for semifinal number 2. I actually see a server up now, so don't go anywhere. Maybe refresh your drink or something. We're going to be going live in just a couple moments.